Welcome back to the Call Me Larry podcast, the only podcast that is a psychological and physiological experience. How are we doing today, Zach?
I'm concerned. Does that mean it touches me on both ends?
No. So psychological is you feel it. Physiological is that it's a physical reaction, right? So it's like emotional and physical, and physical, right?
Yeah.
The reason I bring this up. The whole topic. By the way, I think I just learned this word today. I'll start with that.
Was that under your Snapple cap this morning?
No, it was physiological. That was my new word of the day, right? It's like I feel like I'm on Sesame Street right now.
Yeah.
Who's the person that does the word of the day or whatever? Is that the vampire? No, he's like the number man. Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't know. Sesame Street isn't there a word of the day?
Dude, maybe. I don't know. I remember Oscar the Grouch. I remember the Cookie Monster. I remember Elmo, and I remember Big Bird.
I could kill some cookies right now, but no. So the reason I brought up physiological and the whole because I learned it today, right? And you know how I learned it? I was looking up why people cry more on planes. There was a reason behind it.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's apparently a thing, and I was talking to my coworkers, and it was apparently a thing where when you're on a plane, you're more prone to crying one way or another, and I understand that to a degree because I have some sensitive sinuses, so I have had issues with my hearing and sinuses in general on a plane, but I wanted to know why people are saying that it's more likely that you would be to cry on a plane. And I at first I thought it was emotional, psychological, right? Because you're in the air, I guess you're somewhat compromised in the sense that I might die, I
You're panicking basically.
You're having
a minor panic attack the entire time.
Exactly. So if something happens, I'm more prone to crying, but it's actually a physiological response to the whole situation that you're in, being in a high altitude. And that also explains why I was bawling my eyes out when I got to the top of Mount Fuji in fear of my life. No.
Yeah, whoa. The story you told was very, very
No,
heroic.
it was altitude. That's what it comes down to.
Is that true? You got to the top and you're just like, oh my god.
No. I wasn't. I was making a very poor joke, but
I was like, wow, it sounded. The story I've heard is that you climbed Mount Fuji in heroic fashion and made it down in heroic fashion. I never heard about the crying at the top.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I bawled out in tears, right?
I might cry at the top, dude. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, so that if you find more people crying on a plane than normal, that's probably because of the altitude and the physiological effects. So that was my Snapple fact of today, right? But
Did you know that 90% of Snapple facts apparently are not true? Because I found that out last episode.
We talked about it last episode.
Yeah,
right?
Whatever episode that was, and I was just like, well. All right, we're gonna get rid of that,
guys. Nothing's researched. I have no clue. I don't know. I think I saw it somewhere, but I also think I might not have. I don't know. Life is a lie.
We're gonna have to ask your biologist buddy,
our biological expert on the field, right? But yeah, talking about sinuses, right? And you didn't know, Zach's looking at me like, what? What are we gonna do with sinuses? For sinuses, I got an aroma diffuser. It's pretty nice,
It smells great.
Yeah. The one thing is that you have to go through the effort of filling it with water and oil, but it really gives a nice vibe to the whole apartment. And if you get a variety pack of oils, it's really nice because you could switch between lavender and eucalyptus and spearmint and orange. And it adds some flavor to the house when you're working from home and stuff. And that's something that's been helpful to me in quarantine.
Well, I think it's more fiscally responsible than what I do, which is buy candles once a week and just fucking burn them all week long. And you also get some kind of health benefit out of it too.
Well, that was my actual reasoning behind buying it, right? It's because I burn candles like a mofo. I love my candles. If you went into my apartment, I like candles because they smell good, right? And I like fire. I'm a big fire guy.
I mean, dude, if your choices are smell like beef and cheese or just spend a little bit of money and have it smell really good for when people come over, obviously you're spending a little bit of money.
Yeah, but candles are finite Very much so, because they burn and they're gone, right? So the aroma diffuser has been nice, but I think everyone's kind of had certain things that they do at home and do in their workspaces with this like work from home quarantine life to help make it a little bit better. So that the thing for me has been like an aroma diffuser. Zach, is there like anything that you do right now that helps you kind of get at peace or relax while you're at home? A little bit of self care that you enjoy that brings you into the right headspace.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a big proponent of kind of health and putting certain things like that before your work. And it's really hard for me because a lot of the work I do is very intensive. Like, we have this going on, we have our normal jobs. It's definitely a hard time to find the time. But if you can find the time, just to go for a walk or like maybe work out or something like that, where I live right now, my landlord ended up buying for the gym that we have in the building. He got this, I don't even know what it's called, but it's basically this machine that you end up kind of strapping yourself into and then you hang upside down and it
Sounds kinky. What are we talking here?
the room may or may not be red for all my 50 Shades of Grey fans out there. But
Sounds
no,
like a medieval dungeon.
you literally strap your feet in, then you hang upside down. It extends your spine. And all right, maybe this probably doesn't sound so relaxing over the airwaves, but it's really good. Like, it stretches you out. You have good time to think, whatever. But for me, it's all about like, I also have one of those aroma diffusers too. Like, that's really good. Maybe just time to take it to yourself and like get a good workout in. CBD helps every now and then in case you need it. Like, whether you have some TMJ going on or you just need to marinate and watch like a Marvel movie and watch Ant-Man and the Wasp beat the crap out of whoever you want. Like, it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, so you're talking about stretching yourself out in like an object in a basement. That's supposedly a workout. Sorry, Zach, but we're going to continue on this off tangent play. Have you ever been to medieval times?
I have not. I've heard more than enough about it, but I've never been.
Dude, you're killing me. We're gonna go.
You're talking about walk around with a turkey leg and a pitcher of ale, right?
Oh, you don't walk around, like you sit down, so it's even better. What is it called? Actually, I think it's called, it's like LARPing, right? And it's like live action role playing. Is that what they call it? Does that make sense?
LAR silent QP. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, LARPing. Yeah, I mean, that's like if you've ever seen the movie Role Models when they go out in the field.
Oh my
and
God,
they just have it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You dress up, you play a game, stuff like that. I don't know who you're talking about, but that definitely makes sense.
Yeah. So I actually I guess I semi exclusively like dated. I don't know. I hung out with a girl for a while that was into that LARPing life, and she was wearing like corsets and like stuff like that, and it was pretty cool. Got a little kinky. Like, I'm not against it, but like,
Doing, doing.
it was a fun time. But no, back to medieval times. Zach, you're missing out. So you've never been in medieval times?
No, man. My parents took us to all those, the villages and the stuff where they have the live action role play of what it used to be like when we were kids. And like, I went on the school trips when it's like, oh, these are the Native Americans, these are the native settlers, stuff like that. But no, I've never been anything like that where you said you sit down. I would assume that you'd walk around.
No, yeah. So you really definitely don't know what medieval times is, and that's okay. I don't think.
Please explain.
Yeah, here's the thing: the area that I grew up in wasn't a very historic area when it came to history in America, as well as like potential medieval times and such. But what they did is they did create this program that was medieval times, and what it was is it was like a roller rink, right? So, give me a second. It was like a roller. It was a hockey. It was actually more.
For those listening, I just looked at Jason like, how is there a medieval colony?
It was a hockey stadium. It was a hockey stadium. Sorry. So it was an oval stadium with glass, right, tempered glass all around the sides, and then a faux like arena of people to sit, like seats, right. And in the middle, it was a like dirt arena. So instead of ice, it was dirt. They give it like a hockey arena, but with dirt, right? So
it's like a monster truck rally.
Oh, it's intense, yeah. So what happens in this in this event is you buy your ticket, and it's a dinner and a show kind of, right? And what it is there's like four houses. So maybe we get a little Game of Thrones-esque here, right? But there's four houses that get quartered in this like stadium, and so you get assigned your seat, Zach, wherever it is, and whatever seat you're in, it's a certain house. It's blue, red, green, or yellow, and each of those is a specific housing or a specific house that it represents. So you get to your seat, and you get a crown, right? A little like Burger King style crown. And so you get a Burger King style crown, and you sit down, you put your crown on, and you have to cheer for your knight to win. Now, what proceeds to happen is you enjoy a dinner show, and the show is your knight fighting against in a like knight event. When it comes to like jousting and one-on-one dueling and such throughout like the night, in like a medieval tournament.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense now. So it's literally like you're the people back in medieval time, or not medieval times, Roman times. No, well, yes, medieval times.
Yes, medieval times. Yes.
Yes, medieval times, but you're like the people back in the Roman days where you're all sitting in the Colosseum and
Yes.
you're watching the gladiators fight. And so the idea is not you're walking around experiences, it's you're the crowd witnessing medieval sporting events.
Yes.
And you watch the jousting, you watch the javelin, you watch the duel, stuff like that.
Yeah, which is it's wild, and you don't get any utensils. You get fed food, but no utensils. So like they give you like a drumstick and like soup. You got to eat the soup. You got to eat everything with your hands. So like the soup, you're like slurping. Like everything else, you're eating mashed potatoes with your hands.
No. I'm gonna need you to back up. How do you eat soup with your hands?
Well,
you just drink it.
You take a bowl and you drink it. You drink it. Yeah.
I fully pictured you cupping your hand, dipping it into boiling hot soup, and just like every single bus.
Go green team!
Out there for my ASMR fans, like, oh man, all right, makes sense that you would drink it, but
Yes,
I genuinely assumed that you had to use your hand as a spoon.
No, yeah, you just like slurp it out of the bowl.
All right.
But they don't give you utensils unless you ask for them, and if you ask for them, low key,
bitch.
you're kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like
You're not going to King Richard's Fair, taking the turkey leg out of the waiter or the waitress's hand, the wait staff, whatever they called it in medieval times, the servant's hands, and asking, "Excuse me, sir, may I have a knife and fork with this? As well as a napkin would be nice, or a moist towelette."
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
down.
You don't belong
not
here.
Going down.
But so it was it's a very entertaining show. Like it's probably like 2 to 3 hours, and you vote again. You eat food, you drink, you be merry, and
You be merry,
and you watch and hope that your knight wins. And what's cool is that
can you bet on this?
I wish.
You probably could.
So here's the thing: the outcome is determined in like the actual vicinity. Like medieval times, they know who's gonna win, right? But the cool thing is that every night, it's like a different knight that's elected to win, in the sense that it's like WWE, where it's like kind of planned.
It's staged, but it's not.
But every time I've gone, a different knight's won.
Okay.
So it's not like you go once and it's like the Green Knight always wins. I bet the money on that Green Knight. You know, like it's like house on the Green Knight. They're gonna win tonight.
I mean, the major difference is probably that when you're watching a duel between two knights, that one knight isn't actually dying and getting slain by.
They kind of get fucked up though. Like it's pretty intense.
Yeah, but they're not getting literally penetrated by a sword.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the pinnacle of my elementary school career was we got to go to medieval times as our field trip.
Sick.
Yeah, on 6th grade, and we were lucky enough so seats are randomly assigned. We were lucky enough to get front row seats. So this was like a hockey stadium, right? You have the glass in front of you. We got front row seats to this, and our knight was 1v1ing another knight in a actual duel, a sword duel, and they came right up to our glass. This is a full arena, but they came right up to glass on us, and our knight disarmed their sword, and the sword went and slammed against the glass and cracked it. Dude, like, talk about a crazy experience. So our knight, right?
So you're in middle school now, so you're like 12?
No, elementary school. This was, yeah.
Oh, so you're like not, you're like
no,
9.
like 10.
You were
12.
young. You're very young, yeah.
And our knight, the Green Knight, I remember distinctly. This was in the semifinals.
Jason had some fat stacks riding on the Green Knight at 9 years old.
Dude, you gotta make that green, right? No. So the Green Knight disarmed like the Red Knight right in front of us, and the Red Knight's sword cracked the glass in front of us. Like, it hit the glass and cracked it right in front of us. And we were like, holy shit, are we going to die? And then we're like, oh, the glass held up. We're good. And we're like, hell yeah, Green Knight. But, like, that was one of the wildest experiences. And they obviously didn't plan to break the glass, right? So it was, like, very real in that sense.
Yeah.
And it was so fun.
The illusion was very much intact.
Oh, my God. I got to take you to Medieval Times. CML needs to go on his Medieval Times trip. Yeah.
We'll live stream it, dude, for sure.
And to go, again, like, finish this story, there's another section of Medieval Times, like, store, or, like, what do you call it? Like, the Medieval Times experience, where you can pay $5 to walk through medieval torture devices, like a dungeon. And you were talking about, this, like, fitness equipment that, like, stretches you out and, like, holds you upside down. And I was like, oh, you're talking about, like, the Medieval Times, like, stretcher that pulls you apart? Like, that's what I was thinking. And that's where that whole story came from, was that. And I watched through that as a kid, and they had, like, a breast ripper. They had, like, a toenail, like puller. Dude, they had so many disgusting things that you don't want to ever see any human interact with.
Medieval torture devices are so messed up, but, like, honestly, so isn't your brain. The fact that I was talking about modern exercise equipment, about how great it was for my health, and then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, this is how you can get completely annihilated in roughly the 1400s.
Excuse me, the real MVPs here are the people who lived in medieval times that had nothing else to do but think of these crazy torture devices. The craziest torture device, to be fair, there's a lot of really nasty torture devices, but the one that comes to mind where it's like, wow, that guy gets an A+ in torture, is the Brazen Bull. Do you know what the Brazen Bull is?
I have a guess, but I'd rather you just...
Yeah, let me explain it. So I think it kind of originated in Roman/Greek time/era, like in that area. Mediterranean, I guess, like Mediterranean Roman times. And what it was they put your naked ass in a bull statue, like a metal bull statue, and then they put it over a fire. So you're in a metal or a steel metal bowl, and there's a fire roasting under you. So what happens? The metal inevitably gets hotter. Apparently, it is one of, like, the top, like, 5 ways to go. I read a couple articles, and that was not 5 worst.
Not the top 5 ways.
Worst,
bottom 5 ways.
I'm sorry, bottom 5 ways / like top worst ways to go. Is like the Brazen Bull was one of them, because it slow roasts you, and it slow roasts your skin and everything, because you're, like, sitting in it. Yeah. And, like, your skin will burn, and then you'll slowly, like, suffocate and also burn, and you feel everything, because I'd rather die from cold than heat any day of the week. Heat is, like, rough.
It's painful. For sure.
Cold's numb. Heat's painful.
Yeah.
So I just like, wow, like, someone spent their entire life perfecting the Brazen Bull. Yeah. Like, and who are they trying on? Is there test subjects for that?
No, dude, I've never even thought of that.
It's like, Timmy, come over here. I already try this new model.
Yeah,
and Timmy's like, okay, sir. And he comes in. He's like, I'll give you a little sword. I'll give you a dagger.
I'll buy your family a turkey, like something like that.
I'll buy you dinner, Timmy. I got you off the street. Toss him in the Brazen Bull. If he survives, you get him dinner.
No.
Wow,
that's straight up child abuse. That's horrible.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, it's like, how do you perfect the torture device without torturing, right? That's perfected.
See, the wild thing, though, is that... So I'm going to reference another movie that was on Netflix recently, too, which is called The Old Guard. And basically the premise in the movie is that these people are defending human society, and they just never die. Like, they're literally invincible. I don't know if there's... Or what can kill them is eventually that old age catches up. Like, they're all special in that way, whatever. And so they live through the 1500s and the Spanish War. Like, they live through, medieval times, like anything that you could think of. And basically this one woman gets trapped, right? She gets caught, and they're like, oh, you're a witch because you just don't die. Like, you don't die, you're a witch. It's almost like the Salem witch trials in Massachusetts, where it's just like...
So messed up.
If you can float above water, then you're a witch. And
or it's like
they all die.
It's like you're ridiculous. Pretty, your hair is very straight, you must be a witch.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the witch trials were bullshit.
Dude, I would low-key love to see the logic back then and just be like, no.
She woke up
No.
and her hair wasn't all curly.
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
wrinkly. You know, like she has no wrinkles on her
you-
body. She must be a witch.
Not to divert from the topic, but have you seen Monty Python, The Holy Grail?
You've brought this on the podcast, and I've reluctantly said I have not seen it.
We have to see it probably within the next couple weeks, because it's just like you'll understand what I'm talking about, where it's
I've
just
seen
like
segments. I've seen segments.
well, they're just like, what weighs less than a duck? Wood, because wood floats. And they're like, well, if a woman weighs more than wood, then she's a witch. And it's just, it makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, the tangent I was going off of was, in this movie, the woman is trapped in something similar to what sounds like the iron bowl, the steel
Brazen
bowl,
bowl,
the brazen
iron
bowl,
bowl, whatever it is.
But essentially, it's like this cage, right? And it's meant for like the human body, and you're put into it, and it's just crazy, crazy heavy. And they drop it off of the side of a ship. They drop it off into the Mediterranean Ocean. They're somewhere. I think they're in Spain, Italy, whatever. It doesn't matter. But and so the idea is that
Oh my God! Wait! I just looked up the brazen bowl. It is the brazen bowl. There was one very important detail that the person that created the bowl was
Yep.
the screams of the person inside
it echoes.
of the bowl was built to mimic the sound of a bowl.
No way.
So like it would assume on someone screaming inside while they get burned, the way that the sound travels, and it would have like almost like a trumpet / horn that would convert it into a bull's like snort.
Wait, so isn't so?
How wild is that? So that takes it to another level. It's like not only do you have to make sure it works, but it's also I want it to sound right.
It has an aesthetic.
It
has an
artistic flair. So it's like, how many people did the person that created this kill to perfect this?
So I know that Maximilien Robespierre died by the guillotine, which he helped create. I'm pretty sure the guy who created the brazen bowl died by the brazen bowl. I might be wrong, but you look it up. Anyway, so Jason's gonna look up that fact, and while I tell the rest of the story, and so the idea is that this woman is dropped off the side of a boat, and essentially the idea is that she's weighed down by whatever this cage is in this movie. Completely hypothetical, but like medieval torture devices, absolutely horrific. And so she's at the bottom of the ocean, just continuously dying, like drowning, and then waking up again because she's invincible. So it's like every 20 seconds. Drowning, and then you wake up screaming, and then drown again. Absolutely terrible.
That's messed up.
Did you find whether or not that happened?
Yep, yeah, here we go. So, fresh off of Wikipedia, and guys, this might be a first in CML history. I've actually looked something up, and talking
Is it
about
research? We don't know.
It's Wikipedia, so blame Wikipedia. Stories allege after finishing construction of the brazen bowl, Perillos said to Phalaris, "Ooh, these guys have very phallic names."
Is this Greek?
Yeah. His screams will come to you through the pipes as the tenderest, most pathetic, and most melodious of bellowings. Dude.
We should create an ebook for this podcast.
So Perillos believed he would receive a reward for his invention. Instead, Phalaris, who was disgusted by these words, ordered its horn sound system to be tested by Perillos himself, tricking him into getting into the bowl. When Perillos entered, he was immediately locked into and the fire was set, so that Phalaris could hear the sound of his screams. Before Perillos could die, Phalaris opened the door and took him away. After freeing him from the bowl, Phalaris is then said to have taken Perillos to the top of a hill and thrown him off. Jesus Christ, these Greek guys are crazy. Killing him. Phalaris himself is claimed to have been killed in the brazen bowl, but when he was overthrown by Telechamus, the ancestor of Theron. Zack, you are correct. The creator of the brazen bowl, because he was so emphatic about his creation, whoever was like, okay, this is a good torture device, is like, you're kind of messed up. You're going to go test the device.
Yeah, but you could take that either direction. It was either the ruler said, create me the best torture, killing machine that you can. And then just being a sadistic ruler, as soon as they came back, it was like, all right, let's check it out. Or he talks so much shit that he's like, all right, let's check it out. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, either way, the guy that created the device was the one to test it as well in the final like iteration before it became mainstream. Right?
Mainstream like it's an iPhone. Like
Mainstream Greece. It's like, and then everyone had a brazen bowl.
and you can get the new model in your home in 20 days. Pay 3 payments of $19.95. You can have the brazen bill in your home up and over your fire.
So then Phalaris, after he had cooked the person that created the brazen bowl, Parellos, in the brazen bowl, he's like, wow, this does work. And so he went to his friend Fellatio. And he said to Fellatio, he's like, did you get the brazen bowl yet? And Fellatio was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, this is the newest model. And there you go. It's spread throughout Greece after that from Pharelis to Fellatio and beyond.
Yeah, but you know what happened is that Phalaris, or I'm not even going to try and pronounce his names. He's like, yo, bro, I got the brazen bill 10. I am gonna. It's.
I got the V2 model.
It is the best thing on the market right now. And then a couple, 1 or 2 years later, Phalaris still has the 10, and then his friend Fellatio has the 12. And it just leveled up, and a couple years later, their friend Rectum had number 14, and then the next one, Sphincter, had number 14. It was just, it kept going and going. It's like they kept modeling up as if they were basing new models off, but it was the same device.
Yeah, each model was like the same, but it was a little more polished and like a little more pristine. And some of them also added the like the fart noise as well as the screams and the bowl.
Yeah, so what you ended up with is, as you got new models coming out, it was just a little bit more polished, like Jay was just talking about, but, maybe it's a different material. You got pipes coming out of the different ends. Maybe you got one end, you got an alto, the other one you got a soprano. Like, you just have different pitches. And realistically, we're still talking about the same torture device that your salesman was like, you've got the new Brazen Bull 14. You can have it in your home for 3 easy payments of $19.95. Show up your friends with the Brazen Bull 12. And
Zack, it's called innovation and it's called capitalism, and we should support it, right?
I mean, it happened thousands of years ago, but if I can invest in it, I'm in. If I can bet on it, I'm definitely in.
Oh yeah, I'm betting on the Brazen Bull. I would bet on you any day of the week if it was
under lives.
Yeah,
taken.
over under living. Like it's gonna be the under living. Like
facts.
Whoever's in that bowl is not making it out. I'll put my life savings on it.
Yikes! Don't quote us on that though.
Crazy. So again, this is pretty crazy. You were saying that you watched a show that had like torture devices or like the witch trials on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's called The Old Guard on Netflix.
Exactly.
It's a movie it's called The Old Guard. It's not about torture devices. It has them in it.
Okay.
Charlize Theron, great movie. Would highly recommend on Netflix.
Okay. So we're all on Netflix, right? We're all on streaming services right now. We got a little more time at home. Something that I've recently gone back to that I've also shared with you, Zach, is I've started rewatching Rick and Morty on HBO Max. And guys, if you're not on the Rick and Morty wave yet, I think you gotta be. It's a masterpiece.
I mean, it's truly the art piece of our time.
Dude,
they are almost the new Simpsons, where they're defining the present, the past.
Simpsons
and the
is crazy. So going back to my childhood, my mom would never let me watch the majority of the shows on Cartoon Network because she would deem them too stupid. One of the very few shows I could watch as a kid, there was one that was like, it was like a mathematician show. I don't know. It was like kids go into like a math universe and solve math problems. It was for some reason she would allow Simpsons, especially over like Family Guy and South Park. Those were also not allowed in my house when I was young, but Simpsons was.
Well, The Simpsons has been around for a very long time, so I bet you your mom saw it when she was younger and was just
okay with it. Yeah. Well, it's crazy because like some of the stuff that The Simpsons covered. By the way, Simpsons is fantastic, great show. But sometimes they get very close to the same lines that South Park and Family Guy do. But it takes the difference is that it's not as surfaced as much, right? It's like a little bit more that like parents catch on it, but like kids won't.
Yeah, it's the adult humor and the kids show.
It's more adult humor, whereas like Family Guy and South Park are like we're gonna make it very blatant for everybody.
I would say that there's a line, right? And I would say The Simpsons toes the line, but South Park and Family Guy sprint directly across it and race to the other side.
Fair, fair. So The Simpsons has always been a quality show and something I've watched in my house a lot. And to be fair, like first off, The Simpsons is a great show. They've been on for a long time. I don't know the exact time, but there's a lot of things that they made fun of and like worlds and situations that they created on their show that actually like happened. They predicted the future in a lot of ways.
There is a disgusting amount of analysis regarding current events or things that have like happened recently within the 2000s and things that The Simpsons did prior to said events. Like the Super Bowl, the presidents, Falcons versus the Patriots, they legitimately posted the exact score, the exact winning score on their show. That is in the teams. The teams, the score that's insane.
That is insane. Guys, maybe we should all start watching The Simpsons and just following whatever they say.
I'm just about to start firing off bets based off of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, damn. If you could predict the people, or sorry, the teams in the Super Bowl and the exact score based off of The Simpsons, you could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of a measly like $10 to $100.
Yeah, well, you know that theory is so strong that there are literally conspiracy theories against the creator of The Simpsons that he has traveled forward in time or back in time to create The Simpsons. So the idea is that he already knows that. I actually don't know the creator.
So Simpsons are time travelers, the creators.
Yeah, I don't really buy into it because it's like, why would you go through all that trouble just to create a cartoon show on television? But like there's a lot of conspiracy theories because they've gotten that amount right.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're talking about time travel, though, too, I think we have a new Simpsons on hand, and we might have mentioned this. It was Rick and Morty, man. Rick and Morty is, like, the new Simpsons because I don't think they go for the shallow jokes as, like, Family Guy and South Park does. They go for very unique, more in-depth, and, like, rewarding jokes, in my opinion. Rick and Morty's a vibe.
Well, their whole thing is that they're going to toe the line.
Like they toe that line. Oh, they toe the line, yeah.
But they're going to take it to a place where it's like, oh, this is so funny that how could you even be offended?
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly well thought out the way they do it. And the whole episode is based around like one or two, smaller jokes, smaller things. And you just, they keep referencing those things and you cannot help but laugh.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I've watched this series probably like 2 to 3 times over. I die laughing every time. Props to the Rick and Morty creators, and I still can't believe that Rick and Morty is voiced by the same person, Justin Roiland. That's crazy.
It's insane. I mean, the show is so good, but I think the funny part about that, and I don't know if we've talked about this yet, is the fact that The Simpsons clearly, maybe there's a little time travel going on. There's definitely some kind of predictions or something like that. But what if Rick and Morty is the new Simpsons? They're predicting things. Like we were talking about a past episode about how the Rick and Morty created a greeting of using the middle finger.
Oh, it's like, your greeting is the middle finger.
So what if Rick and Morty is the new predictor? It's that we greet each other with the middle fingers. That's just an example. We could keep going on and on and on. But maybe, Rick and Morty's predicting all these things with time travel. Maybe it's a futuristic variation of The Simpsons.
I mean, why wave a whole hand when you can just wave a finger, right? I might, why don't we start adopting it right now and just start greeting everyone?
You cut down the effort by 80%. Just send it.
Shit. You're right.
I know it.
I just counted my fingers. You're right.
Well, for those of us with only 8 fingers, it's actually 60%. But
all right. Well, thank you guys. This has been the Call Me Larry podcast. Please follow us at callmelarry_pod. Leave a 5-star rating on your podcast of choice. We love to hear from you guys. We'll see you in next week's video. Peace. All these rappers think they know me. Let up and I'm smoking seaweed. Put up in a new whip on the scene. One look at me, you can see. Leave him in the ground, nose bleed. Took me 1 year to succeed. So many girls hit me up on IG. My song got me blowing all up in the feed.